Hey, I'm Brian. I'm really glad to be here today writing and talking about writing with you. So, I am a writer and a writing teacher, and most of what I write is memoir, which means I write stories that are my own stories or stories about other people's lives. My first book on the left there, Going Somewhere, was about a cross country bike trip that I took about a decade or so ago from my hometown in Wisconsin to here in Portland. That trip took about 2 months, and writing the book took about 5 years. My next book, which will come out next year in 2021, is called This Is Not For You. And it was written in collaboration with the man on the screen there, Richard Brown, who is an 81-year-old activist and photographer who, for decades, has done all sorts of work on behalf of Portland's Black community. That isn't actually the cover for the book. The book doesn't have a cover yet, as we're still finishing it up. But it'll be out next year, and I really hope that you get the chance to read it. Mr. Brown is a remarkable man. I like to read a lot too, and I'm going to be sharing a few pieces today that I really love, and actually one that I wrote as well. So I hope you'll enjoy those. All right, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to write some letters. I think that letter writing is a really important and fun type of writing, and I'm really excited to dive into it. And to begin, we're going to do something pretty basic. We're going to do a free write together. And how that goes, if you haven't done one of these lessons yet, is I'm just going to give you a couple of prompts and I'll let you know how long we're going to write for. And then the idea is that the whole time you just keep on writing. If you can't think of anything to write, you can just say, I can't think of anything to write, or just keep hitting a bunch of periods all over the screen or your page until you arrive at something that feels exciting that you want to keep going with. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about somebody that you love that you haven't seen for a long time. It could be a grandparent, it could be a friend that you maybe would usually see in school. Just someone who, if you saw them right now, you'd have all sorts of things to say to them. And what I want you to do is I want you to write a letter to them, just a short one. And your prompts are, I've been meaning to tell you, or remember when. So you can do this on the worksheet that's in the folder, or you can just do it with paper and pencil if you'd like. So you're gonna have 5 minutes. Just hit pause in this video and start writing. And when you come back, I'll be waiting here for you. All right, you can go now. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Welcome back. So we're gonna hop into the next part of the lesson. Like I said, we're gonna be writing some letters today. And a fancier name for this is epistolary writing, which is simply a story told through written documents. That can be a letter, it can be an email, it can be a news clipping, a text message, whatever. And it's a really common form too. And so we're going to start with one of my favorite versions of the letter or the epistolary form. It's just a letter written to oneself. So a few years ago in a writing workshop just like this one, I wrote a letter to myself at a younger age. And so I wanted to share that with you because I thought it could maybe be a fun jumping off point for the thing that we're going to do today. So this is Letter to My 13-year-old self. Let's move me out of the way. All right. Hey, kid. You probably won't get around to looking at this for another 5 years because you're not super into reading right now. But just in case you get pneumonia or break both legs or for some other reason stop moving for a second, here's some advice. Stand up and walk to the room next to yours and open the door and ask your sister a question. Do it now. Yes, now. I know you're just listening to that 311 album, and the sooner you can stop that, the better. And no, it doesn't matter what you ask. Just ask her something, anything. She's way smarter than you, and she loves you more than you've begun to let yourself understand. So start asking now. Then walk up the stairs, the ones upholstered in that burnt sienna half shag you love to dig your toes into. Lean into your folks' room and say, thank you. You don't need to say why. They'll know. Fast forward to high school, where you'll spend pretty much all your free time with 5 boys. You'll believe that you will never again in your life find another group of boys who are so loyal and playful and tender-hearted. You'll be right. Soak up every moment you spend together because soon, way too soon, one of them will be gone. You're going to go through a long phase where you fall in love with just about everyone who makes eye contact with you. I don't actually have any advice about this, just enjoy it. It's a fun feeling. Lots of people will tell you that you need to know soon what you want to do with your life. Smarter people will tell you that that's a bunch of crap, but those people don't know you. I do. And I'm here to tell you that you're going to know you know what you want to do and be, and then change your mind over and over for the rest of your life. Finally, you know how your sister thinks the best part of growing up is getting to eat candy whenever you want? I'm pretty sure she's right. See you soon, Brian. So, there are a few reasons that I wanted to share this in this type of letter writing to yourself. And one was, we're doing memoir, we're writing memoir together. And in memoir, we're always writing about two different levels of ourselves. We're the character, the person who is in the story, and we're also the narrator, the person that is telling the story. And it's really important to get both of these parts of ourselves into the writing because the character's experience gives the immediacy, the sights and the sounds, and all the in moment feelings. And the narrator gives us the perspective. So the wisdom and the insight that can only come from having even a little bit of distance from that experience is being written about. And that can be a hard thing to do to get to come out in writing. But I think that the letter form makes that so easy because it is you, narrator, writing to you, character. So another thing that I wanted to bring up is a question that I always have about my own and others' writing is, what's the point? What is this about? And I'm sure you've had that question when reading something too. And when you're writing to your past self, as I did in this piece here, it's really obvious. There's such an obvious point, right? All of us now at the age that we are must have so much that we want to tell our younger selves about what they might want to know and what to expect. And so the point is just that. The point is, I've got to tell you this. There's this built in urgency and a built in intimacy too. When we read a letter, especially a letter to oneself, which is almost more like a diary entry, there's this real intimacy, like we're hearing a secret. And for me at least, that's always what I'm looking for when I read. I want to learn what I can't seem to learn from day-to-day conversation. I want to know what people are really thinking. I want to know if their deep down thoughts are like mine. I guess I'm just looking for a way to feel a little bit less alone, a little bit more connected to people. So I want you to try to do something similar to what I did with my letter. I want you to write a letter to your younger self. And to get yourself started, I want you to think about a time in your life when you didn't know something, or maybe many somethings, that you now know. So this could be before you began kindergarten. It could be 2 months ago. It could be 2 weeks ago. And what I want you to do when you've chosen that version of yourself, that age that you were at, I want you to write a letter to that younger version of yourself and tell them everything you think they might want to know. So, as always, you're going to have 10 minutes to work on this. When you're ready, you're going to want to pause the video and then you can just get started with writing, and I'll be waiting here. And I'd recommend giving yourself a minute or two before you get started writing. Really think about where you want to write to, what age, what version of yourself you want to write this letter to. And once you've got that, then get started and start the 10 minutes. All right, so you can hit pause and get started writing, and I will be waiting here for you. All right, I hope you got a good letter in, and I hope you enjoyed it enough that you'll want to do it again. It's an exercise that I've tried a bunch of times, and I always get something new from it. So before we end, I've got another short piece of writing that I want to share with you. There's this journal online called Off Assignment, and they have really recently started running this series called Postcard to a Stranger. And it's something that they developed over the last few months for a lot of different reasons, but it feels really useful for the moment that we're in right now. So all the pieces that are in this series are 250 words maximum, and they are just what you would expect. They are these little postcards written to strangers, strangers that in some way had an impact on the writer of the postcard. So the postcard that we are going to read is by a writer named Faith Adiele. Her author bio, which I just love, says that she is just your average Nigerian Nordic American girl. She's written 2 memoirs and made a documentary about traveling to Nigeria to find her family, and she is Thailand's first Black Buddhist nun. So we're now going to read Faith Adiele's To Mario, 20-ish former yard boy to my 70-ish mother. We've never met, but I know all about your high school science fair achievements. How mom's first time paying you for yard work was your first check, and she took you to open a bank account. Your viticulture studies at the community college perpetually interrupted to oversee the grape harvest because you're the vineyard's best worker. Mom says you come by to chat, and today brought 8 toilet paper rolls, plus paper towels, bleach, coffee cream, and sauce for all the pasta from last week. Just wanted to say that, 2 states away, I sleep nights because of you. So I love so much about this letter. I mean, first off, in less than 250 words, we learned so much. We learn about the letter writer, who worries about and really loves her mom. We learn about the letter receiver, Mario, who's done all of this work and who cares for and is cared for by the mother in the postcard. And we learn, of course, also about the subject of this postcard, about the mother, who is kind of the glue holding all of this together. I love too that Faith Adiele uses such sharp details throughout, that she tells us exactly what Mario brought by. And that last line, I sleep nights because of you, it says so much about the writer's emotions without actually saying it. And I think that's a really important thing that we need to do when we're writing in general, but also especially writing short pieces like this, is we need to be able to say the big things in really small containers. And Faith Adiele has figured out how to do that, how to talk about her love and her worry for her mom and her gratitude for this person who also has gratitude for her mom and all the complicated relationships that are going on here really quickly. Just focusing on one little moment and on a feeling that arises from it. So I've just got a bonus exercise for you that if you'd like to keep writing, you're welcome to do. And if you like this little essay and the idea of writing a postcard to a stranger, I want to invite you to do the same thing. So to get started, just like with our last exercise, take a minute or two and just make a list of some strangers who have had an impact on you recently. Just think about the last few months in particular, if you can. Think about people you've seen on the street or seen on the internet, or people you didn't even see, just heard. A couple of examples for me. I was having a really hard day about a month ago. I'd lost somebody that I really cared about, and I was walking around and feeling really lonely, and there was a guy in his yard when I came to a corner who was playing a song by Kansas. And I don't like Kansas, but he was playing this song, and I came around the corner, and he just looked up at me and smiled and was kind of like nodding and dancing along with the song. And it was just such a weird, sweet moment that it busted me out of where I was and what I was feeling. And so I'll always appreciate him for that. And I wrote a postcard to him. So maybe you've got something like that. Somebody who surprised you somehow, who made your day feel a little bit lighter, a little better, a little more fun. So I want you to make a list of people like that. And then once you've got that list, I want you to pick just one name, the one that really stands out to you. And then write a postcard. And if you enjoy that, write two. It shouldn't take that long to do it. So you can right now, pause the video if you'd like, and write for about 10 minutes, write this postcard to a stranger, or we're about done, so you can just finish the video and then do it afterward if you'd like as well. So I just want to thank you again for writing with me today. I really hope that you'll join me again sometime, and I hope that you enjoyed doing this and that you got some good writing out of what we were up to today. I hope that you'll decide also to submit your writing for the anthology. There's going to be an anthology published to collect the writing from these workshops, and we're going to have a virtual reading as well that is going to be happening late this month in May. And I hope you're able to come to that and share something that you wrote. And above all, I just really hope that you keep writing and keep making art and keep getting your voice out there. You and your stories really matter as much as anything in the world, and I just hope you keep telling them. So again, thanks so much for being here. And I hope that this inspires you to do a whole bunch more writing today.